Hello and welcome to the Diana Falzone Show here on Paltalk.com. Happy holidays, everyone. I'm sure you're all in a mad dash picking up last-minute gifts all around the world. And this is actually a great gift that you can get. Bootlegger Vodka. Not only is it delicious, but it's beautiful. So if you have someone who doesn't like to drink but maybe likes to collect jars, bottles, this is definitely a one for the books and one to keep. And you guys can go visit bootlegger21vodka.com, and Gary's going to put up that link right now. And our guest today is Brian Facquet, who is the creator, founder, CEO of Bootlegger 21 Vodka.
I'm a co-founder.
Co-founder.
there's two.
All right, fine. You don't have to take all the credit if you don't want to. But I want the people out there to know that you can write in your questions to Gary. He will send them to us. We'll answer them directly. You can also raise your hand if you have a mic, and you can directly speak with us. So remember, Paltalk's highly interactive, and you can ask 1,000,001 questions as long as they're somewhat in the PG arena. As you know, this is a G-rated room. All right, so I want to ask you about becoming a founder of a vodka company, because every guy's probably thinking, I want to do that, but how do you do it?
We kind of stumbled upon it. My partner, John Walsh, he came up with the name, and that's actually how we started. We started backwards. We had no experience. We just had a lot of passion, wanted to create our own company and build our own legacy, I guess you would say, for our family. So as far as doing it, it's a lot of steps that go into it. I would suggest carefully researching it. We did not necessarily carefully research it. We jumped right in with both feet and everything. So yeah, as far as starting it, just do a lot of research. There's a lot of information online about creating distilleries or microbreweries. There's a big movement going on right now.
So it wasn't like a couple of college kids that were deciding that they were going to go make something in their tub.
No. We actually, when we came up with the idea, he came up with a name and a concept, and bumped into me on a crosstown bus. It was really an odd thing. He's an old friend of mine, and he bumped into me on the crosstown bus, and he said, "Hey, I've got a great idea." We started researching how to do it. We went from distillery to distillery, looking at what people were doing and saying, "Gee, we can do that." So it wasn't just a spur of the moment thing. We did take months of preparation to go figure out how it could be done, and then started teaching ourselves at that point.
Out of all the spirits that you could choose, why vodka?
Well, we started out with the vodka because you don't have to age it. With a lot of craft distilleries that are out there, they're going into whiskeys. Whiskeys take a lot of money to age because you have to sit on your inventory for a number of years as they mature. Some of the different ones, like a rye, can mature quicker. However, it's a lot of time waiting. So what we did, we brought out Bootlegger 21, the New York Vodka first. Because you don't have to age it, we can go through and process it relatively quickly and come out with a very high quality product. So generally, anything that's clear, you don't have to age anything with color to it. You're sitting on.
Now, when you say you came up with the name and kind of registering it as a company, I know a lot of people out there kind of want to know the business of having a vodka without giving away your secrets. How does one go about patenting, trademarking a drink like this?
Well, it's for us, we're a little bit our distillery is called Prohibition Distillery, so we have our business plan is to create a lot of different things. So we'll be doing whiskeys, we'll be doing gins, we'll be doing the vodka. But as far as starting out with it, you have to really there's a lot of work you have to do with the TTB, which controls firearms and tobacco and alcohol in the United States. So you have to go through and research the ttb.gov website. Has a lot of information there, as well as each state that you're looking to go into has different laws. After Prohibition in 1933, when it ended, states were responsible for administering the laws. So you have to check your Fed in your state to go and pull up the detail on what it takes for licensing and costs associated with it.
Are there conventions too for just the curious consumer who wants to know how this just happens and starts? Are there wine and spirit conventions, conferences?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of there's different ones. The industries it's a difficult thing to break into, but it's once you're in and spend a couple of years in it. We're at 3 years at this point. A year on the shelf, but 3 years in it. There's the Tales of the Cocktail down in New Orleans, which is a big cocktail convention. There's 60,000 people go there just for drinking.
It must be like a motley crew for sure.
It's fun, but then there's also regional micro spirits, shows that you can go to. So you just have to go look up in the different, look online for distilled spirits, and they'll have a lot of shows out there. So there's some for consumers, some for trade, but it's a lot of fun.
Didn't Bootlegger just win a couple of awards recently in 2011?
Yeah, we actually won Best in the World at the New York International. So our first, we won a silver at San Francisco, our very first product, which we didn't even know if it tasted any good. We were kept giving it to our wives, and finally they said it tasted good. So we printed out some labels, mailed it in 2010, got a silver. Took 9 more months to go and create the final product, which won the New York International Spirits Competition, beating out 89 of the top vodkas in the world, ranging up from $25 to $90 a bottle. So
wow.
we were the only gold medal winner there. And then we also won 3 additional gold medals, or were awarded three gold medals from BTI, from the tasting panel. And we just got Most Likely to Succeed. They call this the biggest bad boy from the class of 2011, which is...
Wow, do you have that in writing?
Yeah, it's an article on the tasting panel. They put out people, it's more of a yearbook style of...
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not bad, but we're not bad guys. We're kind of socially responsible.
So
it's kind of it's very interesting to be called bad when you're at the same point. It's just our name.
Right.
But we're pretty good.
With what you're doing too, you are doing it kind of from a grassroots campaign, yes. And you do this out of the Hudson Valley in New York, mm-hmm. which is homegrown, as we're based in New York City, and a lot of the time you're getting like Russian vodkas and things that are overseas. So what made it kind of appealing to you to make this kind of a neighborhood thing?
Well, sitting around New York, you look around, actually all around the United States, we're constantly forced to drink different brands that the big companies keep putting out. Mm-hmm. You saw this with the micro beer movement, and I always wanted to be a micro brewer, home brewer. We always did that. So it was kind of neat when we looked at the vodka shelf and the spirit shelf. There's not many things that are from around here. So we kept looking at it as, if New York's the island in the center of the universe, there's a book out there that calls it that. It's When the Dutch Settled. New York, why then don't we have our own spirits to call our own? So mm-hmm. we just said, why can't we create a New York vodka to represent New York? And hopefully the United States at that, because we can create, with the best engineering, the best water, the best systems in this country, right. Why can't we create the best spirits? And that's what we set out to do.
And you did a good job. I've tasted it, and we'll tell you the story of how I met Brian. Our first caller is Reginald in Florida. Hey, Reginald.
Hi, Reginald.
There's always a delay. It's okay. Do we have Reginald, Gary? All right, well, Reginald, you can chime in at any point or text in your question for Brian. I do want to talk about your packaging, because you have one of the most beautiful bottles that I've ever seen. Does this cost more money when you package something that's higher quality? Because this is thicker glass, it's heavy, it's not cheap, and it's collectible.
Well, yes and no. Yes.
In my eyes, yes.
The answer is yes. Is that generally, and what happens in a lot of times in the spirits world, people will take and create a beautiful package, and they don't really care what's on the inside.
Yeah.
So with us, we didn't have money. We started this by ourselves. We weren't rich guys to begin with. I actually worked in this building.
Really?
For 10 years, yeah. I started my career and worked for 10 years. My partner was my HR director. So we were guys that just took a chance. We learned how to manufacture glass at an inexpensive, at a price point where we're buying tremendous bulks of glass. So we joke that we sold our houses to make that bottle, and that's not really that much of a joke, because we really did. We needed to fight for it, because you have to
How did the wives respond to that? Were they a little nervous?
Yeah, but it's fortunately both of us have, and I have to say both of us have tremendous partners in our wives. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my wife knew that I wanted to do something, and actually when I told her that I was doing this madness at the time, she said, go do it. And I said, no, I want you to tell me not to do it, because you're supposed to tell me no. And she said, I don't want you to be 60 years old looking back and saying that I prevented you from doing something. Mm-hmm. She's like, go and do it and don't look back.
Right.
So I'm in my play period right now where she's allowing me to do this. But as far as making the whole product and packaging, it took a long time to figure it out, because there's no guide out there. And that's what we found ourselves at this point. We spent 3 years learning how to do all this stuff, getting all the contacts in place, that now we're helping other brands consult to them to help build other brands that are coming out of the market. So it's the skill set that we've taught ourselves, because no one wanted to help us. We've actually become, I guess, a stronger team at our organization than most companies that set into this.
And it would make sense that a lot of people, especially in an alcohol industry where it's so competitive, that you would think a lot of people would not want to tell you the trade secrets,
No.
because if you know the secrets and the direct competition, do you feel as someone that is grassroots, that's done it yourself, and you're up against these major labels, which will name nameless, do you ever feel like, is there any way you could surpass them? I mean, you're winning all these awards, but do you feel like it's just a matter of capital that they have the advantage, or years?
Well, they've got capital. From a standpoint of the grassroots nature of it, it's very cool in our community, in the the small batch spirits community. Everybody shares information and helps each other out, which is tremendous. So it's this great community, almost like a incredible thought form that's going together, that's bringing distilleries all around the country to share these things. As far as the big guys, we don't have the budget. My partner called me and he said that he said we got a couple of thousand in the bank this week, and I said awesome, that's a good week. But what we're doing is we can't spend against them from a marketing standpoint of going and buying a billboard in Times Square,
right,
and everywhere. It's crazy how much advertising's out there. What we've been doing is going and doing tastings and getting in and interacting with people whenever we can, because once people try the spirit, and it sells itself. It's just a matter of letting people know that there's an alternative, and that's what we're trying to do. So
that's great, and I think there are ways to do advertising and to kind of get the word out, but not necessarily with these huge commercials and things that are, it's hard to play ball against that.
No, you can't. I cannot afford a commercial. But we did do, we've had a lot of magazines that have been offering to help us. And of course, they want us to be a bigger company to be able to afford them.
Right.
But we've been getting a lot of help and support. It's tremendous. When you put yourself out there, there's a lot of people that admire what you're doing and the amount of effort we're putting in. People have been helping us along the way by, getting us into a magazine that we wouldn't be able to afford on our own.
Yeah.
So it's been nice. Thank goodness there's a lot of good people out there.
That's good to hear. We have Reginald did text in, and he said that he owns an advertising company and wants to know if Brian might be interested in partnering with him. Well, there's no background information, so I don't know how you could say yes or no to that.
Well, I'd love to talk to you, Reginald. Right on our website, if you go to sales@prohibitiondistillery.com, right on the website, that goes right to me. We're a two-person company. We bottle, label, cork these ourselves. So if you hit any of those things, it's coming to me. So love to talk to you and find out what there is possibly to offer.
I want to ask, just because it is the holiday season and a lot of people are going to be enjoying cocktails, this is best, as I remember you telling me, served super cold if you just want to drink it alone. But what are some cocktails that you recommend for the holiday season?
Well, actually, I recommend Bootlegger just on the rocks.
Yeah, you're a man's man, though. I don't know if I could handle that.
I think you can. And you actually did that night. When you tried it, you drank it right on the rocks. During the holiday, there's a lot of cocktails that you can go and play with. Right now, there's some great seasonal local apple ciders that are out there. We call it the Big Apple, but it's just apple cider. If you want to make it on a big batch, you can take a bottle of Bootlegger, a half gallon of apple cider, fresh squeezed cider, and you take about 3 or 4 lemons and just squeeze that in. Wow! It makes a phenomenal cocktail, and you can actually go and take it and put in just a little cinnamon, which gives it the baked apple pie feel. But right now, it's been very popular at all events we're doing. There's also a couple of other things, but my recommendation, and if you want some cocktail recipes, we've got some great ones on our Facebook site that we put up from time to time. But just shoot me an email. I'll be glad to send you. Let me know what kind of drink you're thinking. Yeah. But that's one of the best. A lot of people lately have been calling us up, especially in our southern states. At this time of year, they're doing a lot of lemonade. Just a simple thing. It's called the South Side. Wow. It's a drink that's been around since 1933.
It's like a Tom Collins kind of?
It's pretty much very similar to it.
Yeah.
It's Bootlegger. You do about 2 ounces of Bootlegger. Top it off with lemonade. If you don't want to make fresh squeezed lemonade, just go buy a little Paul Newman's and pour Paul Newman's in, and then get fresh mint. Just slap the mint. It sounds very weird, but take your mint, slap it. It opens it up.
Get aggression out.
You get your aggression out.
On your mint.
And that's a Bootlegger modified South Side.
That's
it's such a simple drink to make. That's what's great about this. You don't have to do much with it. You can just put a little juice into it because it's such a clean spirit. There's no bite, no burn on the back end, that you can really do anything with it.
I have a quick question, because I'm not an expert mixologist or anything, but when you go to clubs and they give you bottles and all that stuff, and I know a lot of people are going to New Year's parties and people are asking you to serve the drinks for them, I don't have any expertise in that. How much alcohol should you put in versus, let's say, cranberry or orange juice?
It's up to you. If I want to sell more bottles, I would say everybody should just drink from the bottle. But no, you just use your judgment, because at the end of the day, the glass that they give you, you have to remember that you don't have pourers on top and no one's measuring it. They want you to drink the bottles quicker so that they can sell you another bottle.
Right.
So when you look at a standard bottle has 25 to 30 ounces in it. You should be able to get 25 to 30 drinks. If you're with many of the people I go out with, that's about 15 drinks, because we do 2-ounce pours.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind that the whole idea in that game is to have you pour as much as you possibly can, so they give you bigger cups and bigger everything.
Well, I do want to talk about the taste, because obviously it's not so interactive where you guys can actually try your own bootlegger vodka, but you do serve it very, very cold. And when I had it, like you said, you explained it as smooth without any aftertaste, and there isn't that like burn that vodka gives. It kind of is more of a warming feeling than a burn. Yeah,
it's kind of neat. What's unique about our product, I recommend serving cold, because most people drink their vodka either, some people will put it in the freezer, some people will put it on the rocks. So we generally give you options. You can actually take our product warm, and you can drink it warm and there's no bite or burn.
Like a hot toddy?
Yeah, it's yes, but in the spirits industry, we drink spirits warm to see how they truly are.
Really?
Yeah, that's when you ever go in and you're doing a tasting, you never chill it. For consumers, we chill it, because most consumers don't drink. Because if something tastes good warm, odds are if you chill it, it's going to taste incredible. With ours, we just happen to drink it on the rocks. One of the critics that came out and reviewed us said that we were the best spirit on the market. The only thing that compared it to is Stoli Elite and Jean Marc XO, which are $50, $60 products. We're mid-20s, which is what gets everybody excited about us, is that we're one of the best qualities out there. You can actually drink ours. Ours warm is better than most vodkas cold. Yeah. So when you do chill it, it actually gets a slight sweetness to it. It has a big front and mid palate, so the front of your mouth, middle of your mouth have a lot of flavor. But once it gets to your back, it doesn't bite or burn. Right. It has a warmth to it. Any spirit will give you a warmth, especially. Right. You're not a big drinker, so it's but it's a really beautiful spirit when we always say grab a glass and well, I'm telling you that my boyfriend bought a bottle. We actually met Brian, my boyfriend, and I at Columbus Circle Wine and Spirits, which is in my neighborhood, and he was giving out free samples, tasting, and like I said, I'm not a big drinker, and my boyfriend is kind of like an aficionado when it comes to everything. He works in nightlife, and he said to me, he goes, "This is amazing. Like, we have got to have this." And I was like, "Yeah, it's really good. I actually even like it." And like I said, not a big alcohol. Like, I'll have wine, but not really into spirits. This was the one where I was like, yes, we can always have this on our shelf. And what's cool with this is most people that look at vodka in the world of cocktails, the cocktail movement has gone away for a few years, went away from vodka, because a lot of vodka was bitey, burny, had really no character. Yeah. What you're starting to see is vodkas are starting to be produced like they used to be, and that's really what we did. Is we're using our old world techniques to give a lot of flavor, but no bite, because it doesn't need to be that way. Yeah. But a lot of people that like our product, we have a lot of whiskey drinkers that will drink it, which is really odd. This is what's crazy and odd with our product, is we get gin drinkers that won't drink vodka, will drink our product. And most people, if you don't know, gin is nothing more than vodka at a higher proof, so it's stronger vodka with some botanicals added to it. Wow. So it's essentially was the first flavored vodka was a gin. But for us, we get a lot of people that are crossing over because of it's just such a unique flavor to it. So that you can drink vodka straight and just sit on the rocks and have a good vodka. That's cool to know. It's a fun fact about the gin. We actually have Gary from New York on mic. Hey, Gary. Hey, Gary. I don't feel like our mic is working today. It's not good. Oh well. It's alright. We'll just work with what we got. Gary, chime in. We only have a minute left. So I do want to tell everyone that you can go to bootlegger21vodka.com. You can also check out prohibitiondistillery.com. And you said there's a place where people can purchase the vodka right now for, let's say, last minute Christmas gifts. Oh yeah, there's a couple places that ship across the U.S. One is bottlerocket.com. They're a New York retailer, and there's drinkupny.com. So I know those two, as well as Astor Place Wine and Spirits. They're another one. But if you go to drinkupny.com or Bottle Rocket, those guys do have it in stock. I just called all three, so I know they all have them now, and they all ship to every state. They ship all across the country. And we're in 5 other states, so California, Georgia, Tennessee, New York, New Jersey.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And guys, remember, you can get this Bootlegger Vodka. It is amazing. Even if you have a girl in your life who's not a big drinker, she will like this. That is for certain. And congratulations on all your awards and your upcoming success. And I'm sure you're going to be taking everybody by storm in the alcohol and spirit world.
Well, we're just trying to do it one person at a time.
And
so,
you guys
thank you.
Can also Facebook like them as well at Prohibition Distillery.
Yeah, Prohibition Distillery on Facebook, as well as Bootlegger 21 on Facebook. We're both.
Great.
We're trying to figure out what to do.
Well, thank you, co-founder Brian Facquet and Facquet. And guys, have a great holiday. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.